Hey y'all, it's Red Reacts back again with another video. It's been kind of a while, but we're trying to get back in the groove of things. Today I'm going to be watching Diddy Freak Off Party Explained. That's not a smiling matter. Like, we shouldn't be smiling about that because Diddy Freak Off sound like horrendous. You know, a lot of things been going on with the Diddy stuff, and I'm hoping to hear the celebrities that are going to come out with, you know, involvement. Not just because I'm nosy, which I think a lot of people are just nosy and they feel like they're entitled to having information, but a lot of people have also brought up like the fact that like they're unknowingly supporting people and celebrities that were involved in certain things like this. And it's like, I'm supporting the celebrity, but they were forcing people to be doing stuff. Like, yeah, I'm gonna want to know. But I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the reasons why I want to know is because I am nosy, and I already don't idolize celebrities, so I don't really have a problem with that. It's just, I just want to know. So let's get into it, because I want to understand what these freak off parties, what was going on.
Congratulations! You've been invited to a party hosted by none other than famous rap mogul Puff Daddy. It's going to be an extravagant gala and definitely going to skyrocket your social media following. But when you get there, it's just Diddy and a few of his close friends looking like plankton in his basement dungeon.
Getting some freaky vibes. I'm not gonna lie, like, obviously back in the day, especially, like, if you're getting invited to a Diddy party, like, you're up, okay? And you probably are thinking like, yeah, this is about to boost everything on me. Like, I'm about to make sure people remember me, okay? And I'm gonna make my way to Diddy. Like, that's what you're thinking. And then all of a sudden you want to freak off. Let's get into it.
Being told to take a bottle of lube to a private room to prepare yourself, all while Diddy licks his lips and looks at you, whispering to himself, I was in one bedroom, dreaming of a million. Now I'm in beach houses, cream to the ceiling. As you're about to find out, one of Puff...
Oh my God, not the baby oil on here. We just got into this so quickly. Like, okay. He gets right into it. That's what's going on.
Daddy's most famous lyrics could have been quite literal. 1,000 bottles of lube, enough to fill a very large aquarium. This was the shocking discovery inside of one of Puff Daddy's homes after a federal search warrant was executed against him. And all of that lube? Well, it was meant to be used by some of your favorite celebrities in what Diddy called freak-off parties. Try to picture 1,000 bottles of lubricant. Odds are you're not picturing enough. At 12 fluid ounces each, Diddy's freak-out lube stash would be almost enough to completely fill a 100-gallon fish tank. So why did Diddy need enough lube to create a slip and slide that could stretch across the entire length of a movie theater, from the lobby to the front screen? And we mean that literally. 1,000 12-ounce bottles equals about 93 gallons, which would let you cover a slip and slide 6 feet wide and around 630 feet long with 1 millimeter of personal lubricant, or a total surface area of almost 350 meters. At Diddy's movie theater, you could slide in the front door on a cushion of sex lube, whiz by the concession stand for your popcorn and soda, and then slide into your front row seats right by the big screen.
Okay, we got
what's
the idea.
Playing in Diddy's theater? Well, one of his personal home movies, but more on that soon. First, let's talk about enough lube to drown an elephant seal. Americans buy in bulk, as we know, and there's a Costco right down the street. These are actual statements from P. Diddy's lawyer in response to the discovery of 1,000 bottles of lubricant and baby oil at Diddy's home. While it is true that Americans enjoy bargain shopping from big box stores, most Americans also don't need enough lubricant to fully insert a Minuteman intercontinental ballistic missile into a missile silo that is a little nervous because this is their first time. The public discovery of Diddy's freak-off parties come alongside startling revelations from the numerous criminal cases against him. In 2023, Sean John Combs, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka Puff Daddy, aka Lube Daddy, aka P. Slip and Slide, aka Federal Defendant Number 1, saw his entire career unwind with allegations that he had abused and exploited former girlfriend Cassandra Ventura, also known as Cassie. He was 37 years old and she was just 19 when they first met, quickly making her financially and career dependent on him. At these freak-off parties, it's alleged that he forced Cassie to perform acts on others against her will. The case would be settled out of court without the terms of the settlement being publicly revealed. However, it's likely that this included a very large financial compensation. There's no word on compensation for Diddy blowing up Kid Cudi's car after he became enraged to discover that Cudi had been dating Cassie. Given how much lube Diddy had on hand, getting his car blown up was the least of Cudi's worries. But Cassie's lawsuit was the tip of the iceberg, because Puff Daddy, aka Lube Master 3000, was already facing several other cases for exactly the same type of behavior. And front and center of these allegations were P. Baby Oil Diddy's freak-off parties, for both legal reasons and to protect their reputations. It has become incredibly difficult to get solid details on what exactly went on at these freak-off parties from those who attended. But it doesn't take much imagination when there are literally 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil involved. Odds are, with that much...
While it doesn't take a lot of imagination, it's still kind of crazy because it's like a lot of people don't expect these things to be going on. But like nowadays, especially with everything coming out of the woodworks all of a sudden, the age of Aquarius, whatever, it's not that surprising, and I feel like now we can believe the worst of the worst, and we can believe that it's probably true, because it is probably true at this point. A lot of things, anything can happen at this point. People got whole islands out there that they doing this crazy stuff too. Crazy things at, that's what I meant. Okay.
Lubricant to make things nice and slippery, Diddy and his guests were not hosting a chess club. Some leaks have emerged, though, painting a sordid picture of Combs' freak-off parties. Allegedly, they involved multi-day-long marathons of physical debauchery, with P. Diddy, aka Slip Daddy, flying in sex workers specifically for the events. That particular allegation seems to have some basis in reality, as amongst the many charges Diddy seems unable to slip out of are related to sex trafficking across state lines, for which he is being prosecuted under the infamous Mann Act. Allegedly, Diddy's flesh fests would begin after his famous white parties, which would attract major celebrities such as Leonardo DiCaprio and Mariah Carey. However, after the A-listers left, Diddy would put on a completely different show for a select group of friends. Michael Kaplan of
so we're trying to say that A-listers, they would leave the Diddy parties, but then the select group of friends would be the ones staying. So we're trying to say that the A-listers, they're not involved. They don't know anything. They left. All the A-listers, they're not involved. Just the friends. Right.
The New York Post, who broke details on freak-offs, reported that Diddy would lure in women whom he was personally managing or had met at various adult clubs, along with sex workers. Using either drugs, money, or power over their career, Diddy forced the women to participate. Afterwards, to ensure their silence, he would use video footage taken at the events as blackmail leverage or simply threaten to ruin their career. But freak-offs had other surprises of their own. According to a well-placed drug dealer who was invited to one of these events, male rappers would engage in acts with each other as well, including some very high-profile and well-known talent whose names have not come to the spotlight yet. However, for any fan of the...
Nothing calling out the niggas dabbling and dibbling and dabbling. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. They had to show it. Okay.
Boondocks, this type of behavior has long been an open secret amongst the hip-hop community. Heavy security would ensure complete privacy, and only people personally invited by Combs were allowed to enter. Threats of violence, drug addiction, and blackmail were all used to ensure complete secrecy, as well as a healthy amount of payouts for at least some individuals, such as Cassie. Even if guests wanted to leave, the sheer amount of personal lubricant flooding the party space would have made that difficult. There's also been no publicly released footage or any photos from any of these freak-off parties, though low-effort media has been...
You think they about to release the footage? They was talking about, like, if the trial was to go down, like, they would need to, like, part of the evidence is footage, so they would have to, like, release that because it's part of the evidence. They have to show that in court. But then they were saying that the trial probably won't be public. But I'm like, bro, you gonna have this trial not be public, but you gonna have Johnny Depp and what's her face public?
using old clips or photos from legitimate white parties that Diddy hosted in their place as clickbait. Allegations that
Now that looks like a freak off. Who's in it? Who's in that? Is that J-Lo? I think I see J-Lo maybe. I don't see nobody else I know in that picture. That's probably a freak off, right? Okay. Maybe it's not, but looks like one.
celebrities like Kevin Hart, Leonardo DiCaprio, or Beyonce attended these parties are unproven and rely entirely on photos and videos of them at known white parties. Combs is, at the time of writing, behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center after being labeled a flight risk. As federal raids against his U.S. homes were being carried out back in March, Diddy had taken his private plane to Antigua in the Caribbean. Thinking the situation over, he decided to return and was subsequently denied bail requests. Commenting on the discovery of 1,000 bottles of lubricant in one of his homes, Diddy, through his lawyer, wanted it to be clear that the presence of over 90 gallons of lube and baby oil was not, quote, as nefarious as it seemed. Because who doesn't have a commercial-sized aquarium's worth of personal lubricant for various needs in their home? Sean Slippery Combs is facing some serious jail time for the charges against him, even as the details of freak-off parties remain tightly under wraps by federal prosecutors. At a minimum, Combs faces 15 years in prison, though it's possible he could spend the rest of his life in prison if the federal sex trafficking charges are proven, along with a $250,000 fine. The real question is, how do federal authorities hope to keep a man behind bars who has spent so much of his life steeped in gallons and gallons of personal lubricant now slip into this video, the wealthy elite that own the world, or click this other.
Alrighty. Okay. Here's what I was gonna say. I feel like we're not entitled to having information, but I want to know. I don't care about nothing. Like, I want to know the details of everything. Y'all keeping it top secret. Y'all have all this information. When is it going to come out? Will it come out? It has to eventually, right? But I want to know it now. We want to know it now. You see, let's move this. You see the public, you can see what they want, okay? And this is what we want. And then I also want to talk about the fact that celebrities, they're on top of the world, okay? Leonardo DiCaprio, I ain't going to speak and say nobody did nothing. Everything's alleged. But people like Leonardo DiCaprio, they're on top of the world. That's Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm just using his name because it's Leonardo DiCaprio. But are we shocked that they were involved with some things? Like, if they knew about some things, if they were actually involved with some things, like, and I always thought this before I even knew about anything going on in the industry. Like, I'm going to preface by saying I'm going to explain a little bit more after, but I always thought, like, guys, men who are like super successful, super famous, all these things, like, ego gets to men especially. So not saying that they have to be like terrible people all the time if they have this success and stuff, but like, I feel like it's almost rare to keep the ego of a man down if they do have the success. And I think they do crazy things, whether that's graping something, I'm phrasing the word a little different, whether that's graping someone and multiple people and feeling like they just have access to everybody and they should get access to everybody, or they're just a trash, rude individual. But this is where I want to preface by saying, like, women, they're not off the hook either. Women can develop a huge ego as well. But I think because, you know, men and like their strength, and men are usually like the top of the top and they're scary and all these things, they have a lot of power, okay? A lot of power. And that scares me a little bit more than like a woman who, like Cassie, she's like following the lead of this Diddy dude. Like, she's just following his lead for real. But she's involved. She's definitely probably has some little involvement in there, you know? So she ain't off the hook for real. But the thought of Diddy is like scary because, you know, he has all that power. So I'm just saying, like, this stuff is not surprising, and I always thought that something was going on. I was just waiting for that day where like I knew it had to come out eventually. Like some weird stuff was going on. It's just crazy that this is happening. And I just want it all to come to light. Like I just want everyone to know what is going on. I feel like we as humans are knowing more than we need to know though. Like because of technology, social media, all that stuff, like we're learning so much more and knowing so much more than we need to know. And it's gonna affect us. It's already affecting us. And yeah, the world's a crazy place. Now we're all having anxiety and we're paranoid and all these things. It's a great place. All right, guys. Thanks for watching and listening to me rant. If you watch the end of this video, comment, I'm here. Okay. Bye.